8 a.m. on a Monday morning. So glad to have you here with us on Up with KREM. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Channing Curtis. Thanks for joining us on this Monday morning. Well, good news, even though it's Monday, warmer weather is in sight after several weeks of extreme cold. I know, don't you love it? I'm so excited.
Yeah, let's head outside to meteorologist Jeremy Legoo to give you a look at your forecast as you kick off a new work week. And Jeremy, you're telling us you won't need the big puffy coats all week.
Not all week, but I got mine on this morning just because it is a bit chilly early today. And as we kick off Monday, here's where we sit, 21 degrees here in town. Out at the airport, some dense fog popping up across much of the inland northwest. Starting to see some improvements there in Coeur d'Alene, but Sandpoint still near zero visibility. Deer Park about a half mile, Omak down to about a quarter of a mile. And right along Interstate 90 near Ellensburg, you're finding a little more of that freezing fog with temperatures down below freezing. But look at this, just big difference. Pullman, Moscow, you're near 30. Similar story there in Lewiston. You head to Coeur d'Alene and Spokane near 20. 9 though in Deer Park, 14 in Sandpoint, 11 in Moses Lake, 17 in Wenatchee. So it really depends on where you are as to how cold you are today. But because temperatures are below freezing, that fog that pops up is freezing fog, and that freezing fog advisory lasts until 10 a.m. for Kittitas County. So just know you're driving Interstate 90 to head up and over the now open pass, you're going to encounter freezing fog in quite a few locations. That comes with a little cloud cover overhead, and our clouds are starting to move in. They will take over by the middle part of the day. This afternoon, I think we get a break in the clouds before the sun sets, and then overnight our next push of moisture moves in. This is likely going to be kind of those frozen gross snow pellets as it begins and then transitions into a bit of a wet wintry mix, followed by rain later in the day as temperatures continue to climb. And this is basically the start of our warmth moving in. By Tuesday night, the warmth is here and takes over. So believe it or not, today is our coldest day of the week with highs near freezing or 33 degrees later this afternoon.
Taking a live look right now at Snoqualmie Pass. The pass is open to all traffic after being closed for days due to record snowfall.
So now these closures not only impacted travelers, but they also impacted semi-trucks that were carrying mail, food, and other goods.
So vehicles parked on the side of I-90 for hours, waiting for the news for the pass to be clear and safe for travel. But icy roads and high avalanche danger forced the Department of Transportation to close the pass until they could get conditions safe enough for drivers.
Some drivers say they were incredibly frustrated, but they stayed patient until things were clear.
So it was a whole mindset getting up today about relax, it's going to be frustrating, it's going to be a zoo, you know, and it's going to come out okay.
WashDOT is asking drivers to follow the designated slower speed limit, and they also stress that just one crash could block the road and stop traffic all over again.
But the opening means goods on trucks can get to their final destination and get back onto store shelves.
So now, speaking of store shelves, take a look at your screen. These photos were sent to us from KREM 2's Whitney Ward, showing empty grocery shelves at a Spokane store. You can see the produce shelves seem to be the most affected.
Yeah, so not good to see. Spokane stores now feeling that strain after the past closures kept those delivery trucks all the way in western Washington.
So this morning, KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez is telling us how shoppers are reacting after walking into stores and seeing those empty shelves. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Channing and Tim. So right now I am here at the Rosars up on the South Hill, and I was actually just able to talk with their manager about 30 minutes ago. He was telling me just about all of their delays and such, that last week they were supposed to get a big specialty order, but the truck didn't arrive. That truck did end up coming on Saturday, so things are looking better here at Rosars. But beyond the fact that the pass was closed for, the past few days, another issue is just general COVID-19 supply shortages, also causing shelves to be empty at stores across our entire region. So over the weekend, because of both problems, we saw weekend shoppers have issues finding the things they needed, but people still will be walking into stores with empty shelves. These are photos you have sent to us this morning on our text line. Management at Rosars says they had a shipment delivery scheduled for Wednesday night, but the truck hauling the store's specialty and organic products was not able to get through the pass. One shopper says seeing unstocked shelves just does not feel right.
Looking down some of those aisles, I just kind of walked down. It was almost an apocalyptic feeling, like the water was almost completely out and frozen food was very down.
Now, grocery stores are now playing with the waiting game until trucks arrive with supplies. There is a possibility that trucks do show up to our entire area here in Spokane this morning because the pass did reopen last night around 5 p.m. Governor Inslee also said that truck drivers can drive longer hours than normal right now because of a state of emergency we're in, allowing essential supplies to get where they need to go. In Spokane, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
Well, the pass closure also impacted WSU. A reminder, Cougs will not be back in class today or tomorrow. Washington State University pushed back the beginning of the spring semester in Pullman to give students trapped on the west side of the pass a little bit more time to travel safely. Classes begin on Wednesday now for students on the Pullman campus.
It's time now for your morning rush. More news in less time.
East Valley School District will be closed today due to a COVID outbreak. The district says they just don't have enough staff to hold classes today. While the district will be closed, they will still be offering COVID testing for students and families at Trent Elementary School from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. today. In an email, the school district says they'll use today to plan for the rest of the week.
Happening today, the Meade School Board will be reviewing their COVID vaccination survey data. Last week, the school board asked parents to share their thoughts on requiring the COVID-19 vaccine in schools. The vaccine would be added to the list of other required vaccines, such as measles and chickenpox. One school board member says parents shouldn't be forced to make a decision regarding COVID-19 vaccination.
Hearing people say they're going to take their kids out of school.
Now, as of now, there is not a COVID-19 vaccine requirement for students in public Washington schools from kindergarten through 12th grade.
State Senate Majority Leader Andy Billig says he tested positive for COVID-19. The Spokane Democrat says he's grateful he's been vaccinated and boosted and says he has virtually no symptoms. He's been quarantining since Tuesday. Billig says he appreciates the technology which facilitates a hybrid session for senators to participate in while they are quarantining. And happening today, the 2022 state legislative session will get underway. And just like last year, attendance from lawmakers will be limited because of the COVID-19 pandemic. For anyone working at the Capitol during the 60-day session, testing, masking, and social distancing rules will be in effect. All committee hearings will be held remotely.
In Idaho, Governor Brett Little will lay out his legislative and budget priorities for 2022. In a preview yesterday, he spoke on the housing crisis, the child care worker shortage, and vaccine mandates. Another topic Governor Little mentioned was funding for childhood education and all-day kindergarten. Governor Little will give his State of the State address at 1 o'clock today. That's your Morning Rush.
The city of Spokane's temporary warming shelter closed yesterday morning after it opened 2 weeks ago at the Spokane Convention Center. City spokesperson Brian Coddington says the center saw anywhere from 100 to 350 people during its peak hours. He called the center a success.
It went really well. It got hundreds of people every night out of the cold and into the warmth. The Guardians served more than 9,000 meals over the last couple of weeks. It allowed people to come and go as they needed to.
The Guardians Foundation, who helped run the center, connected people with other shelters in the region so they would have a place to go after the center closed. One man showed up at the center to stay warm and actually ended up volunteering to help others. He's taking part in a year-long faith-based program to get back on his feet, all thanks to fellow volunteers.
I'd be remaining on the streets right now. And if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have had the opportunity because the people that came down for me to enroll and take into this program I'm going into.
Coddington says the center never reached its full capacity and never turned anyone away. The city is looking for a new location for temporary shelters as events start to return to the convention center.
This time of year, it seems like just about everyone has a cough or the sniffles. But how do you know if those symptoms are just a minor cold or something more serious?
And the one thing to know about weather as we send you off on this Monday is that things are warming up today. Trends a bit cooler, mostly cloudy and temps near freezing this afternoon. Tomorrow, we'll see our push of moisture, a bit of a wintry mix turning to rain, and by Wednesday, we're talking enough warmth to melt the snow and ice that's still left on those roads.
And taking a live look outside this morning of beautiful Spokane, we want to say good morning to you, Inland Northwest, and happy Monday, everyone. Let us know where you're watching from on this Monday morning. You can text us at 509-448-2000. But in the meantime, grab another cup of coffee and join us for more Up with KREM.